Good morning.
Good morning. Yesterday was a day of contrasts.
And now we've got sore legs and it's time to head, 70 odd kilometres to our accommodation tonight. We're going towards the border of Spain. We're going here, map.
We ended up getting here at like 9 o'clock last night, so we didn't do any exploring of the village. So hopefully when we ride out this morning, we might see the village. But the intent is, obviously highway riding is faster, but you know, you're on the highway with the cars and the surface is better. But we're intending to go back to the Greenway and then ride the rest of the way, as far as the Greenway goes, which I think is another like 20 kilometres from here, on the Greenway, which the surface is pretty good, but it's not great.
Yeah, so I'll show you the rest of the Ecopista now.
The whole Ecopista was 34 kilometres long.
Ecopista.
Exactly. I may have rode out in front, and a word to the wise, the Kraken does not like that. So, you know, I rode out ahead and I didn't stop when I said I was going to. And so I rode an extra like 5 kilometres and she got very grumpy. There was a complete drain down session. There was a lot of abandoned houses along this way as well, you know, as you went through the little villages. But it was really quite interesting. It was all slightly uphill the whole way, just enough to annoy you. But, you know, if you went the other way, you would be slightly downhill the whole way.
This area has a history of iron mines. This rail trail was designed to showcase not only sporting opportunities, but cultural and environmental beauty, including historic architecture in this region.
It's always good to have a pit stop to keep up the fat in the fat man. You'd think we'd burn it off doing this, but amazingly I can keep it all very balanced energy-wise. When you get into these villages, the little villages, there's really nothing. You know, most of them have no shops. So we stopped at a service station. They have like 3 cakes and some ice creams. So I'm having a well-deserved ice cream and PJ's having a well-deserved
Me, coffee. My opinion on this Ecopista is that it would be really, really fun in the opposite direction. You'd be getting the best views, you'd be able to cruise down at an amazing speed. Overall, the surface is really good. This isn't obviously a path for a road bike, gravel touring bike or a mountain bike is best, but I mean it's not that bad. There's only one section that we saw, a very brief area where there's a little bit of like loose sand, but otherwise it's just nice solid gravel path and the views are spectacular, so give it a go.
I'm trying to hide from the demons inside my mind. There's nowhere to go, no matter how hard I try. They show I've tried a million different ways to leave. Oh my, why can't I not find the key? It's too dark, no one shows me how to see.
The Kraken told me it was all downhill. I think she may be mistaken. There seems to be quite a bit of uphill. But it's okay, it's good.
We've just stopped in this little bus stop and we're seeking shade, so it's about midday now and we're in summer during a heat wave, which is always the best time to go cycle touring, but you know, for us it's fine. Yeah, so far so good. Hopefully it's downhill from here.
Well, there's only 2 ways out of here and they're both uphill.
Yeah, so anyway, we're going to be following the ridgeline, running essentially parallel with the border of Spain and finding our accommodation for this evening. So we'll show you the rest. And if you are looking to cross the border with Spain, this is the way you'd go, and then there's a little crossing over the river. So we'll show you.
This is uphill if you don't notice it.
It started off pretty well, didn't it? Just got worse progressively.
Yes. PJ said, this will be a good little shortcut. It wasn't. It was a nightmare. Like, this does not look as bad as it really was, but it was terrible. And a lot of, when we decided to cut over to the highway, we had to go through a lot of electric fences. So slowly put the electric fence down right through. But we did get to ones where we had to do a lot of backtracking to find a way through because there was no gate.
There's an electrical facility, wasn't there?
There was an electrical facility, but I think it was the farmers trying to keep the cattle in, not keep people out. It was good to get back to the highway. Look, there's fish in there.
What?
There's fishes.
Oh, there are fishes. There's fish.
The fish that were in there were like dinner plate size. They weren't little fish. They were like quite large fish. It was really surprising. I think they must put them in there to control pests. So today was supposed to be 64 kilometres, but it's going to be more like, I don't know, 80 or 90 kilometres. And it's very, very hilly. The reason it blew out was part of our route was an unpassable dirt track. Like, it was just, you know, very, it was a track in name only, you know, like trying to ride along it was impossible. So, but that slowed us right down. And
Lots of pushing.
Yeah, lots of pushing, mainly pushing. And even then difficult, the bikes wanting to fall over. And quite a bit of time wasted getting through electric fences. So we abandoned that and came back to the highway, which means we have a big, long deviation.
With more hills.
With lots of hills. And I suppose, you know, we've been prolific with our energy up until now, so we find ourselves very, very low on reserves.
Yeah, especially pushing bikes through sand.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're about 5.2 kilometres from the town. I'll put a map here. And after that, we've probably got, I don't know how long to get to the hotel.
Somewhere around 15 kilometres after that to the hotel, hopefully.
But yeah, it's been a big day.
The grind continues.
I've been trying to meet up and see ya. I can fly you out to Abu Dhabi with a bad bitch look like Scotty. Ooh, right beside me in the phantom off that. Yeah. Abu Dhabi with a bad bitch look like Scotty. Ooh, right beside me.
Look at that freewheeling. I really enjoy that. Look, I'm overtaking that like I'm such an athlete. Almost there, almost there. There.
There is one tiny little cafe in this village and it's very friendly. There's also one bus stop. The place we stayed is called Retiro Tirasol.
We're in this little village. Poor PJ, she's back recuperating, and I've gone out exploring. It's kind of beautiful. It's a mixture of older buildings and newer buildings. And there seems like there's a festival, which I'm just walking up towards. But this is a bit of a walking tour. It's like got about 5 streets, this village. And this is a Saturday afternoon. So I don't know what's around this corner, but it sounds happy. Oh, they've turned it off just because I've turned up. Supposedly this town has like 150 people in it. There's a lot of vacant houses and a lot of ruins. I suppose if there's 150 people, they're all here in front of the town hall. of the town's walking tour. So you can see this looks like it's derelict, but not derelict very long. It's a beautiful stone wall. They're completely surrounded by these stone houses, and then you come to this walled garden with a beautiful view over the valley, and look at this walkway, archway. So you can walk out of your house and head over into your garden. Unbelievable. I'm just going to walk around the front and see what it looks like from there. Look at those gates there. And how well dressed the stone is. Well, that gate for just a barn. Oh, this is the back of the this is the back of a really big building. It's very beautiful. Looks like a mulberry tree. And then right next to it you have another house in sort of ruins. Or the empty shell of a building. They've still got beautiful woodwork, you know, like you can see in the past there was some real love put here, and it's got a beauty in its fading glory. It's funny how some buildings thrive, but these ones have got all new, double glazing, and then right next to it you have a house in ruins. We're staying just off this little courtyard. It's perched high on the hill, gives you a bird's eye view of everything around you. It's all these little towns are perched on top of the hill, probably for defensiveness. It's got this little tiny chapel just out the front of it, but there's a big church over there. We're staying in that cream coloured building, which is not that old, I would say, built in the 80s. And right next to it there's a ruin. It's very romantic. There's beautiful views. This just backs onto the valley, which you can see in the distance there. Big sweeping views down the valley. Next time we get to the border with Spain and explore Miranda Dora.